My name is Sangeeta Ranjit. I'm a program manager at Microsoft on the identity team. In this session today, I'm going to discuss how the identity systems have evolved into a very siloed IAM and CIAM solutions, how that impacts our customers, and the future that I think we all should aspire to. One of the fun things I get to do as a program manager at Microsoft is to talk to our customers every single day and solve really, really hard problems with them. The presentation today and the use cases that I'll go through are representative of the pain points, the use cases that our customers are going through every day. And I'm going to tell you a story. We know that businesses everywhere are going through digital transformation. And we also know that identity is key to this transformation. In a world where a network boundary doesn't end at your corporate firewall, identity is key to managing, securing, and allowing businesses to work better with each other and all its constituents. And these constituents include customers, partners, suppliers, vendors, etc. Regardless of our relationship with the business, we want to connect to it from wherever we are on a device of our choice and use a wide range of applications. Isn't that the vision? Yeah? And to a large extent, that vision is real today. We just didn't get here at the same time. It just didn't happen all at once. The first thing we did was we broke the boundaries around the corporate network. When that happened, employees could connect to you from wherever they are and be productive on any device that they had. Businesses could continue to manage these employees, the apps, their resources, the same way when everything was on premises. Employees were happy. This increased added flexibility and productivity were great. It was in fact so great that employees now wanted to work with their partners the same way they worked with each other. That means giving access to your apps, resources, data, collaborative workspaces to your partners. The only way to do this securely was to create organizational accounts for your partners that gave the businesses the same level of control over these accounts as they had over the internal employees. Now, every time a business creates an account for their employees, these accounts have to be managed and secured. Someone has to create these accounts, someone has to onboard these users, perform help desk tasks such as resetting forgotten passwords, and even retire these accounts when these accounts are no longer needed. And businesses also have to depend on external users to keep those credentials secure. IAM Solutions for collaboration or business to business or B2B were designed to reduce this management burden. Businesses could now collaborate with external users based on their identities from their organization. In other words, these partner employees could bring their own identity, or BYOI, bring your own identity, to collaborate with you. This is awesome, right? This is really great. Now you don't have that management burden of managing accounts for your external users. Now businesses started to ask, what about my customers? I want to connect better with my customers as well. What that means is creating apps with beautiful, tailored user experiences so that your customers could connect with you and make purchases. Now, allowing users to create their own accounts enable the business to track their interactions with you and their purchase habits, which further allow the business to make their products better for their customers. However, now it has the same problem as B2B. By owning these accounts, businesses have to manage and secure these accounts. Businesses are also liable for the data that they store about their users. On the other hand, users have a new set of username and passwords to keep track of. That's when the CIAM solutions came along. CIAM solutions allowed users to sign in, sign up, set up preferences, connect with you, make purchases using their social identities. And it reduced the management burden and the liability on the business. This is win-win for everyone. Now, we have solutions for 3 major use cases that businesses care about. We made the employees more productive by breaking the boundaries around the corporate network. We made it easier for our employees to collaborate with external users by allowing our partner employees to bring in their own identities. And we also enabled businesses to connect better with their customers by enabling social identities. But in that process, we also managed to create a few problems. First, businesses now have different stacks for each kind of relationships that they manage. Secondly, these solutions are optimized in very different ways. For example, IAM Solutions for collaboration, or B2B, is optimized for extending an employee's experience to your partner. So they focus on stuff such as access management, security management, governance, lifecycle management, etc. CIAM solution, on the other hand, is optimized towards connecting with your customer. So they focus a lot on customized branded experiences that are largely self-service. Thirdly, these 2 solutions were designed in silos. They were not meant to work together. But when you think of this deeper, these 2 solutions are more similar than we think they are. At a very basic level, they allow us to recognize a user so that we can give them access to apps, resources, data, etc. to these users. And then there are these scenarios that make me wonder why we even keep them separate. For example, what if I want my employees to collaborate with my external users, but I didn't want to be their help desk? What if I wanted to offer customized branded experiences to my partners? What if my partner business is so small that they don't have an IT department? Can I let them sign in using their social identities the way I let my customers sign in? What if my partners don't even use email address and did everything on phones? Can I let them sign in using their phone numbers? What if my customers are also my partners? Am I now going to require them to have multiple accounts with me? These are the kinds of scenarios that confuse our customers today. These scenarios entail components of IAM and CIAM, and our customers don't know which stack to choose. Many times they choose a stack that meets a particular scenario, and very, very soon they face constraints. So supporting these scenarios is the next step in the evolution of identity. We can continue to create new solutions for each kind of problems that we face and each kind of relationships, or we can rethink our approach. What if, instead of having different solutions for each type of relationships a business manages, we had one solution that meets people where they are? In other words, instead of managing relationships, what if we managed an individual and all the relationships that this individual may form with an organization? With this option puts the user at the heart of everything. Let's take a look at a use case. Meet Natasha. She's a homeowner. She buys insurance for her home from Woodgrove Title, which is an insurance company. She's also a real estate agent. She started her career with Fabricam Residences, a broker company. She recently moved to Van Arsdale Limited. Both Fabricam and Van Arsdale are customers of Woodgrove Title. When Natasha sells a house, the buyers that she represents needs to buy title insurance. Natasha facilitates this purchase through her broker's relationship with Woodgrove. Now for Woodgrove, Natasha represents 3 different people. Natasha as a homeowner, Natasha as an agent with Fabricam, Natasha as an agent with Van Arsdale. So Woodgrove has to manage 3 different accounts for one person. Natasha also has to manage 3 different accounts for the relationship that she has with Woodgrove. Now, let's take a look at how we can make it better for Natasha and Woodgrove. The first time Natasha sets up a relationship with Woodgrove, she signs up as a customer of Woodgrove using her Google account. She enters her username, she enters her password, she's set as a customer. Next time, when Natasha joins Fabricam as an agent, a manager at Fabricam invites Natasha to register with Woodgrove as an agent. Natasha starts a registration process. She uses the exact same account that she used when she signed up as a customer of Woodgrove. Woodgrove knows that she is an agent with Fabricam, and therefore adds a role as a Fabricam agent to her Woodgrove profile. Note that we are not creating a new account for Natasha. Now, Woodgrove recognizes that she is going to have access to confidential user information, so ask her to add MFA to her account. Natasha does it. Next time Natasha signs into her Woodgrove portal, Woodgrove asks her to choose a role, that of a homeowner or that of an agent. She chooses the role of an agent. Now, Natasha lands on the Woodgrove portal that's branded Fabricam. She can look at all her deals in progress. She can take care of all the alerts that she needs to. She has access to all the apps and resources that she needs from Woodgrove to be a successful agent with Fabricam. Next, she decides to check on a claim that she made against her home insurance. Now, because Natasha is one person, she doesn't have to sign out and sign in again. She just has to choose a different role. She chooses the role of a homeowner and lands on her personal page, as a Woodgrove page, as a customer. Note that she does not have any access to Fabricam branded experiences here. Now, Natasha decides to leave Woodgrove and Natasha decides to leave Fabricam and join Van Arsdale. On the last day of her job at Fabricam, a manager at Fabricam starts her offboarding process, which involves taking access away from her badge and removing her as an agent with Fabricam and Woodgrove. Next time Natasha goes to the Woodgrove portal, she does not see the Fabricam branded portal anymore. Now, Woodgrove knows that she is a real estate agent, so gives her an option to add a broker to her profile. Natasha adds Van Arsdale. Woodgrove once again checks against Van Arsdale that she is indeed a registered agent with Van Arsdale and adds a role as an agent with Van Arsdale to her profile. Once again, she gets access to all the apps and resources that she needs from Woodgrove to be a successful agent with Van Arsdale. She even has access to special deals that Woodgrove makes available to her as an agent with Van Arsdale. So this is an example of a scenario where a user has multiple relationships with an organization at the same time. In this new approach, Natasha has one account with Woodgrove, and Woodgrove has one account with Natasha, one account for Natasha. Woodgrove knows that she is not three people. She is one person with different roles with Woodgrove. Now, let's take a quick look at another use case where a user's relationship with an organization changes over time. For example, Rosa's relationship with her university. When Rosa applies to a university, she started as an applicant. University accepts her application, and she becomes a candidate to join the university. When Rosa accepts the offer from the university, she becomes a student with the university. When Rosa graduates from the university, she becomes an alumni with the university. Now Rosa decides to go back to the university as a student for grad school or for her professional development. So she becomes a student with the university once again. And finally, Rosa decides to join her university as faculty. So she becomes an employee with the university. How can we help Rosa have one account and not 6 accounts with the university? And how can we help the university understand that there's one person behind all these profiles and not 6 people? These are really, really hard problems to solve. And to a certain extent, we can solve them today by stitching together various solutions. What we need is an identity system that supports these kinds of scenarios natively in the platform. What we need is an identity system that understands that one human being can have multiple relationships with an organization, and that relationship can evolve over time. This system needs to accept identities from many sources and knows how to secure these identities. It needs to allow businesses to create customized branded experiences for any type of user, not just customers. And the organization is allowed to create branded experiences based on the relationships that they have with other organizations or other users. This system needs to be flexible to embrace the future, and it needs to meet people where they are. Trying to fit our users into an IAM or CIAM bucket doesn't work anymore, because the relationships, the boundaries between the relationships that our customers have with their organizations is getting blurred. Therefore, this is a perfect time for you to think of the identity strategy in your own organization. For example, are you still creating accounts for your external users? If yes, you know that adds risk to your business. Consider embracing bring your own identity, so that your external users can get access to your resources based on their identities from their organizations. And if you think of it, they are more motivated to keep that account secure because they own that account, not you. And we also need to understand your branding requirements. What kind of branding requirements do you have? When you understand the branding requirements for different kinds of relationships that you have, you will be able to choose a solution that's flexible and meets your requirements. Make sure to have flexible contextual experiences for your users so that your users know where they are, what they are doing, and under what context they are operating. What kind of organizations do you partner with? Are they just bigger organizations that have managed IT? Or are they smaller organizations as well, including mom and pop shops? In short, does your identity system meet people where they are? So these are the kinds of problems I get to solve every day as a PM at Microsoft. And I get extremely excited about solving these problems. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the talk, those use cases that I went through are representative of the pain points our customers are going through. There are many, 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 many such problems. If you have problems that you're trying to solve in your journey towards digital identity, I'd like to know. Let's talk. And thank you.